All righty, we're going to get started. Welcome, everyone, to the College Fairs of Greater Denver. We are so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Chelsea. I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Denver. All righty, and without further ado, I'd like to now turn it over to Zach and Kim.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us here tonight. My name is Kim Joyner. I'm from Ames Community College.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Zach Lebsock. I'm from Pikes Peak Community College.
Great. So we are going to share a presentation that Zach and I have created together, and we'll just be taking turns sharing this presentation about what the value is for attending a two-year college, and hopefully answer as many questions as we can this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to Zach on this one.
All right. Just some of the great things about community college is we have a lot of different offerings. Obviously, for students that are looking to transfer to a four-year institution, that's what a lot of people think of when they think of community college is, do your first 2 years with community college and then transfer. So those guaranteed transfer degrees are Associate of Arts, Associate of Science. So for our programs in the state of Colorado, we have those guaranteed transfer agreements with, different schools within Colorado. And so, there's those options. We have an Associate of Applied Science degrees. Those are generally going to be, 2-year programs that are designed to get you into the workforce. There are some that'll transfer to four-year institutions and different programs, but you'll see different programs like, like welding is an Associate of Applied Science, auto collision. Here at PPCC, we have like zookeeping tech and just some different programs like that. So you'll see a wide variety of them. Kim can probably mention what they have, but we have, 200 different degrees and certificates at PPCC. So you have a lot of different options to choose from. And speaking of that, certificate programs, right? So sometimes getting that 2-year degree, 4-year degree isn't the right thing to do from the beginning. Maybe, your student is looking at going into a certificate program. They can range in credit hours depending on, what program they're going into, but generally you can see some that are like 14 credit hours, 15 credit hours. And that student can get a certificate then, and then, sometimes go out into the workforce. Generally, those certificate programs will build into the Associate of Applied Science degrees. So you'll be able to, work towards that full degree if that's the route you decide to go as well. And then there's, some non-credit continuing education classes. Non-credit for those people out there that just want to take some class, learn some new skills, or if you need to come back and learn certain things like the computer, do something with computers, you can absolutely do that. And then we also have some bachelor degrees. That's something that's pretty new to community colleges, and something that's really exciting. But yeah, there's some bachelor degree offerings at community colleges now, including a lot of community colleges will have nursing, their bachelor's in nursing that you can get. And then like Pikes Peak Community College, we have emergency service administration. And then, I know there's some other colleges that have some other, bachelor degrees out there. So lots of different options for your students to choose from, whether they're looking at transferring, doing a 2-year program, doing some certificate programs, or wanting to get a full bachelor's degree. Right, there's a lot of great reasons to start at a community college, and the variety of options is one of the reasons why.
Great, thanks, Zach. And I would definitely echo everything he said. And Ames also, you hit it right on the head, Zach, over 200 degree and certificate programs too. So, and I think that's pretty general with a lot of community colleges, I would say. Okay, so we have a little statistic here for you. In 2019, student loans reached $1.6 trillion total in national student loan debt. That's a big chunk of change in student loan debt. And in the survey, students were asked, what is out of all the college graduates, what is your biggest regret, or one of the things that you regret? You can see the vast amount said they have no regrets, but a very large amount said, 27.1% said one of their biggest regrets is student loans. And so we're going to be able to kind of speak to this as far as, the value of a 2-year degree.
Yeah, so lots of benefits to community college. One of those benefits being it's going to be an open door admission. So we usually will have rolling applications that you can apply pretty much any time for that next semester that's coming up. And, there's no application deadline, and it's a free application. A lot of four-year institutions and things like that, they have application fees, they have priority deadlines, a lot of different things that go into it. GPA requirements, sometimes test scores, essays. Community colleges, you don't have to worry about that. We take students of all types. We take non-traditional students. We take, obviously, traditional students. We take students who need a fresh start. We take students that have over a 4.0 GPA. There's a wide variety of students that choose to come to a community college for a variety of reasons. And so, that's one of the benefits of a community college is, it's really easy access. And that's one of the goals. We're here, we want to serve the community, we want to help the community. And so part of that is being accessible and being, a place where students can come in and, like I said, get that fresh start or get a good start to their education. So, this is really like it says down there, one stop shop for student support, because that is our goal, is to serve the community. And PPCC, a lot of other community colleges will reflect this. Our vision is students succeed at PPCC. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate as a person who works at a community college and as a person who went to a community college, is that I just love the fact that community colleges are there for you, that you have a lot of people that are going to support you, and you're not just another number like you can be at some four-year institutions. And not saying, I'm definitely not talking about four-year institutions, but when you think about some of the, a faculty member teaching, a class of, we'll go on the light side, 60 to 70 students, and having, 4 or 5 different classes, that's really hard to, get to know all those students. So, I love that piece about community colleges. You really get that personal touch from, staff and faculty.
Okay, just in talking a little bit more about the benefits of a 2-year technical or college. So we have a wide variety of vocational, technical, and liberal arts programs. And with that, we have state-of-the-art equipment. That's what's so nice about the community college environment, is that a lot of times, everything is hands-on when it comes to our technical, vocational kinds of programs. And Zach's nodding, yeah, at PPCC as well, right? So that is a benefit, because if you are a student who learns better hands-on learning, then maybe that Associates of Applied Science that Zach referred to earlier is for you, because that's most likely a technical program. And again, he used the example of, automotive, there's welding. We also have programs like computer science, graphic design, communication, media, which is your like your video and audio production kind of courses and those kinds of things. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the state-of-the-art equipment that we use to teach our students. We also have that state guaranteed transfer courses. Zach did refer to that earlier. So that means that our Associates of Arts, Associates of Science programs are that guaranteed transfer into your state universities, public universities, basically. The other benefit, of course, we referred to this earlier, in the huge student loan debt that we have in this country, we have lower tuition costs. In Colorado, the tuition at a community college is about 1/3 to half the cost of a 4-year college or university. So even if you decide to move on to the university, that's great. But at least your first 2 years, you can have a discounted rate. You're taking the same exact courses that you'd be taking at the university anyway. All of those prereqs and those general ed courses. So why not take them at a lesser cost? So you don't have that big student loan debt.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, you know, that's one of the great pieces about community college is obviously the price, right? It's affordable. But on top of that, you know, all of these community colleges, we offer scholarships just like the big four-year institutions. So along with, you know, financial aid, scholarships, you know, there's a lot of ways, work study, there's a lot of ways to go through college without getting any kind of debt. And, you know, starting at a community college is a great way to start that process to, you know, find those different scholarships that are out there. I know I have two student ambassadors that work for me, or that previously worked for me, who went through college literally getting paid to go to college because they had extra scholarship money that, you know, got reimbursed back to them. So, you know, just know that this is a viable option to help students, you know, get into college and get them out debt free. And just, you know, thinking about some of the uniqueness of the programs that are offered at the community colleges, um, you know, that's another great benefit is you're going to see a lot of programs that aren't offered at four-year institutions. When you think about four-year institutions, right, there's business school, there's medical, there's engineering, there's liberal arts, there's like very specific programs you're going into, right? But sometimes that's not what students want. That sometimes that's not their fit. So that's where those, you know, welding, automotive, and even more, you know, unique classes like PPCC has zookeeping tech. I believe it's Arapahoe Community College has a mortician program, which is super unique, right? I mean, so there's a lot of different programs out there that, you know, just it's worth looking at for students, especially, you know, students who want that hands-on experience and want, you know, more than just that theoretical learning, which, you know, schools are getting a lot better about doing more hands-on, but these are designed to be hands-on.
I know another program, Zach, that students often ask us about is culinary art. And so we do have community colleges that do have community or have culinary art. One of colleges that does have that is Front Range Community College. I know they have that. So yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask any of us anytime you see us. If we don't have the program, we are more than happy to refer you to the college that does have that program. We carry around a handy dandy little handbook that shows all the colleges in the state and all the programs that each of the colleges have. So we do really work together to try to get our students where they need to be, where they want to go.
Yep, community colleges, we're on the same team, right? We have our areas, and we have some, you know, pretty unique programs, but, you know, we're always about sending you to the right place where you're going to be successful and, you know, where your program is. So, and just this is going to kind of tie in, but we do have, you know, qualified and accessible faculty because their primary responsibility is teaching, right? They don't have to worry about having so many hours of research along with teaching. Like their focus is teaching, working with the students, helping them, you know, during office hours. You know, we have a lot of faculty, and I'm sure a lot of other community colleges are this way as well, that, you know, a lot of faculty, like I have an open door policy where you can come and talk to me, right? Shoot me an email, I can help you. We have faculty that work in, you know, some of the some of our tutoring centers, right? So that's the nice part about it is they are focused on teaching, so you're getting that quality of education. And a lot of them have real life experience in the subjects they teach. You know, just thinking about our nursing program, there's like, I'm pretty sure most of the faculty in that program, if they're not currently working as nurses, they have 30 plus years of experience in nursing. And that's what you're going to see with these community college programs is, one, they have a lot of experience because they worked in the field. And sometimes these people who worked in the field came and helped build the program at these community colleges. So you're getting that real life experience. And, you know, kind of like to talk about they're accessible to students, whether it's, you know, needing help with homework assignments, having a faculty advisor talk to you and say, hey, you know, this is the direction I see you're going. And here's the classes that'll help you along the way, and they're going to be honest with you, right? If this seems like something that's a really good fit for you, and maybe they're like, oh, let's add this on because it's going to be helpful for you, right? You're able to build that relationship because of the smaller classes. Okay. And along with getting to know your professors, you get to know your peers, which I think is really invaluable. I mean, thinking back to my experience in college, I was believe it or not, now I talk to people for a living, but I was very shy going through college. And, when you're in a class with 60 or 100 people, it's very easy to sit at the back of the room and, not talk, not interact with classmates or instructors. Whereas with community college, you have smaller class sizes. Our average class size at PPCC 17, and I'm pretty confident a lot of community colleges and around the state are pretty similar to that. And that's the cool part, is that you're getting to know those peers as well as the instructors. And a lot, they're going through the same subject. So you could see these people in the workforce one day. You could be transferring to a school, build a relationship, friendship to help you through that next stage. And then, obviously you have people you can go to. Getting to know these instructors is great for references, whether that's for scholarships, getting a job, going into clubs. So the smaller class sizes are wonderful. And, just thinking about, again, that quality of education and that hands-on, learning, there's a lot of, when you think of four-year institutions, you think of all the really cool facilities and things they have, but community colleges have those as well. Like, we have a lot of really cool hands-on type of experience things. And, just to speak from PPCC side of things, and Kim, I'd love for you to throw some stuff in about Ames. And but PPCC, we have a simulation center for our medical programs that has 33,000 square feet of simulation space, where these students feel like they're in a hospital, right? They get that experience within a hospital without actually being at one. So, they get to learn, they get that exposure without actually, hurting people, right? Because they learn from those experiences. So we do have, all of those really cool type of areas that, the big four institutions have. Whether that's software, whether that's physical spaces, there's some really great experiential learning you can get at community colleges.
Yeah, definitely, Zach. I think those are some great examples. We also have the nursing program as well, and a lot of community colleges do, because there's such a high demand for nursing, right? One program that we are a little bit unique to, I think, is our aviation program. So our students have 13 actual airplanes that are our planes that you get to learn how to fly on out at the Northern Colorado Regional Airport, along with a beautiful simulator that looks just like the inside of a cockpit of a very large commercial airline. So things that I call them the unexpected, right? Because they're just things that are unexpected that you would see in a college period, not just community college, but a college period. So yeah, so it's really worth checking out, taking those tours and looking at your programs yourself, see for yourself all of these great benefits that we have, for sure.
Yeah, another cool one I thought of is Morgan Community College. They have a drone one where you can be a certified drone flyer, right? And
yeah, we do have that. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of really cool programs out there that, it's hard to, unless you go look at all these community colleges and see what unique offerings they have, it's hard to, get that out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have, along with, just like Zach said, we have a lot of the same kinds of services and resources, just like any university. So here are a list of some student services, and Zach, feel free to jump on in here if you think of others or you'd like to elaborate a little bit. So, we have academic advising. We have what's called pathways advising. So more and more community colleges are teaming our students up with advisors who specialize in certain areas. So if you decide to go into aviation or automotive or whatever it is, your advisor is going to represent that program as your academic advisor. So they're very specialized in those areas. And then of course we still have our general advisors too for those general programs as well. And then, our career and transfer services are such a value to students. You can work in the career and transfer services program with those advisors and counselors to help you stay on track for one thing, and even do some career exploration too, because sometimes you get halfway into your degree and you're thinking, wait a minute, what else can I do with this, or do I need to change, right? So we have these services that help you really focus and look at career choices and see if you're on track or if that's really the area you want to go in. And then of course, transfer services, we invite all of our amazing four-year universities into our community colleges to help you with that transition to transfer into their programs if that's something you wish to do. Our disability and access services, we all have those services on our campuses. So if you need some specialized learning, a specialized learning environment or some special needs in any area, they can help you with that. Now more than ever, we have personal counseling services. And of course, these are all free. There's no one has to pay for these at all. So the personal counseling services, it is what it is. So you can set up an appointment and have a personal counselor, and it's free of no charge. Our TRIO student support services are those students who are first generation Pell eligible or have a documented disability. It's a wonderful program that's kind of in a hub or in a little group in itself within the college community. So you have your own support system for those students, just to give you that extra support, especially when it comes to tutoring and those kinds of things. I mean, we offer tutoring for all the students, right? But this is more of within that cohort in that group. Of course, financial aid is an important piece to be able to pay for your college. So fill out that FAFSA that's coming up October 1st. That's this week. So let's get that free application for federal student aid filled out. See if you can get some Pell grants, see if you can get some state grants, and also most of the time you have to have a FAFSA so that you can get scholarships, and you can definitely apply for our scholarships on all of our campuses. One thing Ames does have, and Zach, you'll have to chime in here too, is we do have food pantries on all of our campuses for students to be able to find food on campus. They can dip into that once a week. That's something that came before COVID hit, but it really has vamped up quite a bit here lately. Of course, that we have bookstores, we have libraries. Ours is called the Keeper Library. We have computer labs, tutoring, like I said, online writing labs. And then, of course, we have our military veteran independent services as well. So we have our Veterans Hub. Veterans can come to any college and use their GI Bills to help pay for their college. Zach, did you have anything you'd like to add into any of this?
Yep, just to kind of add on to what you're talking about, we also have a food pantry, and I feel like there's probably a lot of community colleges that will have something similar. That's one of the things about community college is we see, a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different socioeconomic statuses. And, something that's important to community colleges, we know that, if you don't have your basic needs met, whether that's food, shelter, things like that, then we know that you're not going to be successful. So, there's a lot of resources to help students who need that assistance. And I think that's the biggest thing you need to tell your students is we have a lot of different resources and a lot of services that are here to help make your students successful, or students successful. The biggest thing is they have to reach out, right? I mean, unfortunately, we just don't have the capacity to reach out to every single student, figure out where they're at. We have these resources that are available for a reason. And one thing that's sticking out to me is tutoring services is, there's a lot of people who think that tutors are there to save you when you're drowning, right? When you have an F. But in reality, these services are designed to, not save you from drowning, but teach you how to swim. Use them early and use them often, because it is a lot easier to keep an A than it is to dig yourself from an F back up. So I encourage you to, utilize these resources and, reach out, but make sure to use them before you kind of are in that panic mode, because, they're here for you. I know, speaking for myself, math was like a foreign language to me. And if it wasn't for the tutoring services, I don't know if I would have ever made it through math. So utilize these resources that are available to you.
Absolutely. And the key here is we're trying to keep the cost down for our students. And so part of that is offering these services, they're complimentary, but also keep in mind too, parking can get very expensive, and most community colleges, you're not paying to park your vehicle. I know we offer a bus pass, a city bus pass. We get that. We only have to charge our students $1 for the bus pass for the full semester, but usually community colleges can get that at a discounted rate. We are able to offer our students free gym memberships at their local rec centers because we have 4 campuses. And we have a rec center on our main campus. So of course that's free for everybody to use no matter where they're located, but we have 3 outlying campuses without rec centers. So we offer those passes for those students who live in the outlying campuses. So we're trying to make life easier and a lot less expensive and just more enjoyable so you can have a good experience, I think. Okay, I'll advance this slide. There you go, Zach.
Okay. And in terms of campus involvement, so, a lot of people, when you think of community college, you think of taking your classes and going home. Generally, we're considered commuter schools. But there's a lot of cool things that happen. And there's different types of community colleges as well. Okay. So there's some transition centers on campus. So, generally there's going to be like first year seminars, or we have a online orientation, things like that, where it's going to help students who are coming in that are new get acclimated to campus, figure out what it's like to be a college student, whether that's a class, whether that's, some kind of program that's going on, there's ways to do that. And, there's leadership programs, coaching and mentorship programs at a lot of these institutions. Some of them are going to be scholarship based, some of them may not be. So there's a lot of different ways for, to get some assistance from, these different programs, learn how to become a college student, get coaching and things like that. And, one of the cool things about community colleges is we still have clubs and organizations. We do like to have a lot of fun things happen on campus. All these community colleges are going to have, student life departments that are going to put on, campus events and things like that to, still have that on campus camaraderie and activities going on. I know one of my favorite, I'll tell you two of my favorite because they're a lot of fun. I know a lot of community colleges do similar things, but one, we have like this big inflatable screen that our student life department puts up, and they'll do drive-in nights in our big parking lot, or during finals week, they'll bring in puppies to campus, and they call it Paws to De-stress, because what better way to de-stress than to hang out with a bunch of fluffy puppies? So, we do fun things that go on campus, and then there's a lot of different clubs, right? Find somebody who has a similar interest to you. There's going to be academic clubs. There's going to be program-based clubs. There's going to be interest-based clubs. Like I know PBCC, we have, the college version of FBLA, PBL, and they go out to different competitions and things like that. We have a Dungeons and Dragons club, which I love D&D. So it's a lot of fun to do things like that, right, that you're interested in. But we also have, a lot of diversity and inclusion programming, whether that's a club, or, there's some community colleges that have departments dedicated to that, right? So, it's really important to find a group of people to not only to build that on-campus environment and those on-campus support system. And a great way to do that and build that connection to campus is through clubs and organizations. And then there are two-year institutions out there that you do live on campus, that there are sports that you play, like the Lamar Community College, Otero, they have Northeastern. These are all different places that you do live on campus, and they go play, NCAA sports against each other. But obviously, if you're not at NCAA level, a lot of, colleges will have some kind of like, just fun pickup basketball games, or we have, soccer club where, they'll play against other teams within the community college. And, so there's a lot of different ways to get involved. And I definitely would encourage you, or, if you're a parent, encourage your students to join a club or be part of an organization, go to some of the on-campus events, because again, you're going to build that connection to campus and really feel a part of that community. And then in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion programming, I kind of mentioned it, but, Latinx retention and engagement, There's sometimes clubs that are, going to be there to help with diversity, equity, and inclusion, veteran engagement. There's been, obviously different ways that interfaith prayer and, some campuses have meditation rooms or meditation areas. And then, we want to be inclusive, make sure there's lactation rooms for, mothers who are, lactating, have that stuff. So it's important to, that we want to make sure we're inclusive to everybody. And, that's, again, we're here to serve the community, and we see a lot of people from a lot of different areas come, and we want to be respectful of that.
Yes,
Anything?
absolutely. One of the student clubs that we have at Ames, it's for automotive students, and it's called the Full Throttle Club. And they actually built a Camaro and they load it up. They have a special trailer. It's wrapped in the Artie Aardvark, that's our mascot, and the Ames on their trailer, and they take it down to Bandimere, and they actually have a racing team. So it's so cool what students get to do. They're doing real life experience things within their student clubs, right? And also part of those student clubs and organizations, they're doing community service. And so that can also help you with when it comes time to apply for scholarships, and especially if you plan to move into the university then when you're finished at the community college. So there's so many different ways where you can have, like Zach said, your leadership, get your community service so you can get, serve the community, number one, but also help you with your scholarships, and then get to do some really fun stuff as well, for sure. Okay, so thank you so much for your time and attention today. We do have one more slide where Zach and I are going to take you to our websites, but we wanted to give you our contact information here so you know how to reach out to us. And I know you'll also have access to that afterwards as well, but here we are. And I'll go ahead and Zach, and I'll have you take it from here so that you can go ahead and show PPCC's website, and then I'll follow.
All right, that sounds good. Okay. All right, so, just some things to look for when, and you're going to see a lot of different things on these community college websites, but here's some, pretty familiar things that you can look at. Generally, every community college page is going to have a place where you can look at, the different degrees and certificates. And again, like both Kim and I said, both of our colleges have over 200 different degrees and certificates. So as you look through these, there's a lot that you're going to be able to look through and see. And then, particularly on ours, but a lot of other institutions, there'll probably be some information about, the program itself. So definitely something to look for there. And then, for PPCC and other ones, again, a really important thing, and I encourage you to do this with any schools that you're looking at, is the visit campus page. PPCC, we offer campus visits to our two main campuses. You can connect with a recruiter. We have virtual information sessions. We offer group tours to schools, and then we also have academic information sessions where you can meet faculty. So a lot of these community colleges or junior colleges are going to offer campus visits where you can come to campus, take a tour, and learn about the place that you're looking at going to. And I really do encourage you and your students to check out these campuses and see which one's a really good fit for you and what's going to be, you can learn about the programs a little bit more, but really you get that feel of campus to see if you're a really good fit there, right? Because that's a really important piece of it. And then, every community college is going to be pretty similar to this, but some might have different steps in terms of how to actually become a student. So, for PPCC, we have apply, which obviously all community colleges are going to have that application. And as we had talked about before, that application is free. And you can apply pretty much anytime. So that's going to be consistent with all of the community colleges, as you're going to be able to apply whenever you want, as well as not have to pay a fee for it. And generally it's a really short application, so you're not going to have to worry about spending days on it because there's no essays or anything like that, right? And like I said, for PBCC, we have mandatory orientation. Some schools will have that, some won't. It's really just dependent on, the school you're looking at. And then, you're going to want to meet with an academic advisor at pretty much any of the schools you're going to, because you want to make sure that you're getting into the classes that fit your goals, whether that's to transfer, whether that's to do 2 years and then move out into, the workforce. And then, as Kim mentioned, making sure you complete that FAFSA to see if you qualify for any kind of financial aid, work study, or you might qualify for some student loans. Obviously, go for all the free options first, but at the end of the day, luckily community colleges they're a lot less expensive than four-year institutions. So if you do take a loan, you're not going to have to take as big of a loan as you might if you started a four-year institution. Okay. And then scholarships, and then registering for classes. So, just keep an eye on, just check out these different institution pages and see, where are some good places, where are some programs I'm interested in, whether that, again, transferring or just doing a 2-year program, looking through the degrees, figuring out what schools have that, and then, like I said, going to these schools and figuring out which ones are really good fit for you. So I encourage you to check out, obviously our website and any other community college that you're close to. That's another huge benefit that I didn't even think about that we could mention, but the location, right? I mean, we have community colleges all over Colorado. So, depending on where you're at, you probably have a community college that's close to you. And sometimes that's going to be the best fit, is staying local. So, you may decide you want to live at home and save money, not only, by the tuition being lower, but also saving money by living with parents, or finding roommates in your hometown, whatever it is. That's another great benefit to community college, is you can save money by some of those living expenses as well. So I think that's all I got, Kim. Oh, you're muted.
I'll let you click out of your site and then I can click into mine. Will it let you? Okay, I can put it back up there, no worries. There we go. All right. All right, I'm going to just do this. Give me 1 second. All right, now I'm going to share my screen here real quickly. So Zach did a great job of sharing, what to look for on the web pages on our site. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you around Ames a little bit, and same kinds of things right on the front. We have the application button right here. Across the top, you can find anything you need as far as admissions, the experiences that we have at Ames, academics, and so on. If you scroll down, you can request information. You can look at the tuition fees, the cost. You can schedule a visit, like Zach said. You can schedule an individual tour. You can do a group tour, whatever fits. You can just click on this and it will take you right to where you can register. And then here is Explore Our Programs, where you can see all the different degrees and certificates that we offer. We do have them in alphabetical order. So this is where you're going to find those. And you simply just click on one and it's going to take you right to that program so that you can explore the program. And it's like this on any of the community colleges websites, right? They're going to show you their programs, give you a description. They're also going to talk about the highlights and then also what kinds of degrees and certificates within that program. So this is pretty much what they all look like on any community college website as far as the information that it shares, okay? So same kind of thing. And then you can click on experience here. There we go. You can take a virtual tour. you can learn about clubs, activities. You can see all of the different areas here. We do have a program here called Ames to UNC, and that's basically a program where, although yes, our AA and AS degrees are full transfer to any state school, we have an Ames to UNC program that's more of a transition. So while our students are taking classes at Ames, and those students that say, yes, I want to go to University of Northern Colorado when I'm finished with Ames, while they're at Ames, they can live in the dorms at UNC, and they can attend all of the activities at UNC. So the student is living a university life while taking classes at Ames. So it's a very unique program and a different kind of program. But that is another way that you can experience community college and university life at the same time. So I won't go over every single piece here. I thought Zach did a fantastic job of explaining, how to maneuver and what we do have on our websites there. But that's kind of the meat and potatoes of things on the Ames website there. Okay, I think that's it for now as far as our presentation. I know we've been taking some questions and answering them, Zach and I, as we go. If anyone has any more questions for us, we have just about 4 minutes that we can take some more questions.
Yeah, and just to, thank you all for joining us today and learning about community college. I mean, I think, one of the cool things is we have a great partnership with four-year institutions, as we've kind of, talked about. Is if a student is looking at transferring, it's been built in a way where students can transfer to those four-year institutions. So, there's a lot of different options for community college, and I, really appreciate you guys taking the time to learn what we have to offer, and, how we can help you if you're a student, or if you're a parent, how we can help your students, accomplish those educational goals.
We have a few questions here in the Q&A. I'm just typing in one now as you're speaking. Someone asked, Zach, do you want to go ahead and respond to this while I type it in? Are you able to switch credits to a college out of state from a community college?
Yep, so that's a great question. You're able to switch credits to a college out of state from a community college. So yes, that's definitely a possibility. We've had students, I know when I went to Morgan Community College, I had a classmate of mine, who transferred to Cornell University. There's been some PPCC students I know have gone to Harvard, so we have students transferring to these big four-year institutions outside of the state. I think one thing that's super important is working with both the institution outside of the state, as well as with the community college, to make sure that the classes you're taking at the community college will go towards that degree that you're transferring into at the out-of-state four-year institution. Again, we have, these guaranteed transfer programs set up in a way that, that you can generally transfer these classes, but, just making sure that you're taking the right classes that go towards that degree program. So long story short, or long answer short, is yes.
Right, and one more question. What about athletic programs? So yes, some community colleges have competitive athletic programs, and some have what's called intramural sports. And so those teams that do not have those competitive sports where they compete amongst each other, the intramural, you can gather up a team. Maybe you like to play volleyball, maybe basketball. It could be even golf or tennis. So many different areas where you just gather up a team and then you play against each other within the same college. So it's intramural, and a lot of universities have that as well. Even though they do have competitive sports, a lot of universities even have intramural sports too. How do we find which colleges have competitive athletics? That's a great question. Do you know that answer to that, Zach?
Yeah, I think, really one of the best ways is obviously looking at the different websites that, are going to be fitting for that. But really Google searching, right? What community colleges or junior colleges in Colorado have athletics or college level athletics. Some that come to mind that are in Colorado, I know I'm pretty confident that Lamar and Otero both have athletics. I know Northeastern Junior College has athletics. So, it's really just kind of taking some time and researching and figuring out, what athletic programs are at these schools, and which one obviously that you're looking for. But I'd say, yeah, Google is probably the easiest way to look, or just looking at the National Junior Athletic Association, Junior College Athletic Association website.
Right, that's a great one. And also working with your high school coaches as well, I would think too. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we're just about out of time, but I would just like to say thank you so much for joining us here tonight and allowing us to be part of this evening. It has been super fun, and we hope we get to see you all really soon out there when we get out on the road here, not too long from today.
Yeah, and if you think of any questions, I'll put my email into the chat. I'm guessing you wouldn't mind doing that as well. And that way, if you think of any questions after this that pop up, you can absolutely reach out to us and we can help answer those questions.
Awesome. Great presentation. Thank you so much for all of the information. I'm going to wrap us up here quickly. So thank you to everyone who was able to join us for this session. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back and sign up for other sessions if you're interested. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as the other recordings at strivescan.com/Greater Denver. Again, thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much to Kim and Zach for your time. Really appreciate it. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.